Hello there, here is a video on scripted items in the new custom NPCs 1.12.2, and this in my hand right here is a scripted item, and it's got the texture of a stick, and I'll show you how you can get into it. You just shift and then right click, and it brings up the scripting GUI for the scripted item that you're holding. And under here you set the texture by setting item set texture, okay, and then you give it a value, a damage value, then you give it a texture, and then you set the item's damage value to that same number, and that will give you the texture to show up for this particular item. So every damage value is a separate texture. You have to choose a separate number for every one. I'm not sure how many numbers there are actually. I was going to just test that out. I don't know if there's a limited number or not, but this last line sets the durability bar to not to show, so that's what that does. And well, I think there's at least 200 of them. So I've got a bunch of them right here in this chest, and they're not really showing up right now because they haven't been initialized. So we'll just bring them into the hotbar here, and some of them, it's funny, some of them, let me see, yeah, we'll bring these two down too, and yeah, on this one here is a scripted item, and you can see it's got lore and it's got an increased attack damage, okay. And for some reason it's showing up as a diamond sword. I must have gotten somewhere there exists the wrong damage value, because when I put it into my hotbar there and initialized, it goes to a wooden sword. So something's messed up there with the number one texture damage value. I'm not sure, but here's how you can put that. There's a set lore method, set attributes, so you can grab the attributes of the item as long as you know what they are. This one's generic attack damage, and let's see, that's it. And then if you interact with it, it gives a message. So that's that. This the second one here. Some of these I made, and some of these I've gotten from people off the forums or Discord that has some nice examples. This one here is, as you can see, the durability bar is both changing length and changing color, and if I click it, it will also change the texture of it. And this is done just by simply looping through. These are all set in the init function, and when you interact, they run through there, and then they run through from, it runs through the list here of the damage values, and then it resets. And then in the tick, this is just running a random function, and for durability color, durability value. So that's pretty straightforward. This one here, let's see, we better go over here for this. This one is whatever block I attack, it will set for lava. And sometimes it actually will do 2 blocks like that, but it's just whatever, using the attack. I'm left clicking there, and I have to be in survival. This one, whoops, this one is pretty straightforward here too. It checks for, in the attack function, it checks for the event type, and that would be attacking a block, okay, or clicking on, I guess, attacking a block, yes. It's detected, and then it just gets the coordinates of that, the event target, and changes it to lava. So that was pretty cool. This one is something I was thinking about doing, and it's the model of a redstone dust, and when it picks up, it makes this invisible block right here, as you can kind of see the outline of it, and it gives off a redstone signal. And what it is a Okay, that's redstone. And in here, what it does is it creates a dummy NPC because it has to run this execute command method, and that sets a block, a scripted block that gives off a redstone signal. Okay, and it also, the block obviously is invisible and passable. So I thought that looked kind of neat. Actually, I have one in here also that's a little different. This one I'll show you real quick. This one has so after it's picked up, it sets the item stack to 0, and that will get rid of the item. It'll be deleted basically when it's picked up. It'll be erased from the game. So that's that one. This one, let me see. Let's go to I think this one. Yeah. This one will tell you the position that it lands on. Okay. So if we go out here, oops, we'll drop it down there, and there it is. So it will tell you the position, and how it does that, it's a little tricky. It's a little, has to use in here. The tossed event starts a timer. Okay, and it starts a player time, and then it starts a timer, and yes, it starts a player timer. Okay, yes, it does. And then it stores data in a player stored data thrown item, and it stores the event's entity UUID. Now when it's tossed, it doesn't become it becomes an entity, and it's no longer a item. So if you look here under the tossed event here in the API, you can see there's entity, player, and also item. So those are all fields that are available. So its entity self is available when being tossed. So oh yeah. So that's timer. So what happens with the timer? Well, that's the thing. It's you have to have a player script that is a timer, and it's looking for that timer ID. And when that timer goes off, it will give the entities X, Y, and Z message to the player. So you have to kind of time it to, like, if it was going down a river or something like that, or you know, it would be changing position, and you wouldn't necessarily get its final resting place. So that's just kind of a proof of concept there. Let's see. Oh, this was just this just has see, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. This just shows you the different functions when they're fired, when the events go off. So the initialization, tossed, and spawn all fire when you toss it. And then when you pick it up, just the initialization fires, and then if you interact, that's number 2. So I was just kind of testing the different functions and seeing how they react. Okay, so last is this one here, and this one is similar to that second one I showed you, but I'll show you what happens when let me just show you this here. If I toss it, something happens when I pick it up. So go pick it up, and if I pick that up, iron bar, it will explode. If I pick up the gold bar, I'm teleported up. Oops, let me change that. And if I pick up the brick here, there's a there's a particle effect. It wasn't not much of a particle effect. Okay, so let's see what else we got. This one, pick that one up. It spawns an NPC dog, is what it does, and you can spawn as many of those as you want. Whoops. and so if I go and the feather will despawn all the surrounding dogs. So it's this one is pretty straightforward, really. It's just building upon those other ones. Like I said, it has those textures there, and you just change them with the interact, and that works the same. But when it's picked up, it determines the damage value, and then it does something depending on what that damage value is. So yeah, the dragon breath particles there. Grr clones the dog called Grr, and that's what it does. So that's kind of a brief overview of scripted items, just how you get them up and going and started, and they can take any sort of texture from any mod, I believe. So that's it. Thanks for watching.